It's PB&Z Sports Chaos. And guess what we're wearing tonight? Our U hats, which means we must be rooting for the U. College football playoff semifinal start tonight. Where you got in the Fiesta Bowl, the U is playing against none other than Ole Miss, and we got tomorrow night in the Peach Bowl, Oregon, Indiana. So, PB, let's get right into this whole thing with the game tonight, Fiesta Bowl. A lot of background, a lot of backdrop to this game is the whole Lane Kiffin thing. How Lane walked out on the team. A lot of narrative around that right now. We saw it didn't hinder them last week. It didn't hinder them in the first game. You and I talked about that when we first picked the game. Not Tulane. We knew they would win that game easy. But last week we thought it might be a little bit of a handicap to them. And they just showed that to be like resilient. It was almost like it was like, we'll show you. Lane who? F Lane, right? It's basically what they said, I think, at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
then the worst part was he's pulling coaches back that he's hiring, and he wants them to come back to LSU this past week. Fortunately, the offensive coordinator, Charlie Weiss Jr., we know how good Charlie Weiss Sr. was, and running back coach, I think Kevin Moore, they got to stay behind, which is a good thing. Do you think this will be do you think the distraction will catch up with them, or do you think they're over the distraction?
I'm gonna say it's gonna catch up with them a little bit.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I do. I think Ole Miss has, the firepower to stay in this game, but I still think that there's gonna be a time when a Lane Kiffin type decision needs to be made that is gonna alter this game. Whether it be
Tell you
going
what.
for it on a fourth down, whether it be something
Yep.
that is just gonna cause them a problem.
Get the Lane thing. Let's think of the irony for a second. 3 years ago, uh, now Brian Kelly, he walks out of Notre Dame at the end of the year. He goes to LSU for the next season. Wasn't during the playoffs or anything like that. And then what happens? Marcus takes them to the college football playoffs, and they played in the championship game last year, the year after Brian Kelly left to go to LSU. LSU finally got sick of his stunt. They fired him this past season. They hire Lane Kiffin, who just leaves his team behind, a playoff caliber team, a playoff team at that point in time.
Yeah.
I see a lot of irony here, and I think that at the end of the day, I think these players it's behind them at this point in time. Lane Kiffin's in the back corner, and by the way, Pete Golding is showing me a lot. I'm loving this guy right now. After 2 games, I'm really impressed by the way he's coaching that team.
Yeah, yeah. So let's get down to what's going to happen on the field. I
All
mean,
right, so on the field, what's his name? Trinidad Shameless. Unbelievable game. I just heard a stat. He ran around for 763 yards last week in that game. Running around, scrambling 763 yards in that game. I don't know that he can do that again. People are like, oh, Miami's not going to be able to handle that. They played Marcus Reed in the first game against A&M, the same type of guy, right? They got
yeah,
12 sacks, 6 against him, 6 last week. I think the U holds up. I think Mark Fletcher has another great game running the ball. Malachi Tony, I think, is a guy that breaks out. Hopefully, Carson Beck can throw the ball downfield. By the way, another stat, Carson Beck, I don't think has completed past 20 yards in these playoffs. Interesting stat. He's only averaged 130 yards passing. He hasn't need to
yeah.
pass, but he's going to have to pass, I think, tonight. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's no question that Ole Miss has a high-powered offense. The question is Miami's defense going to show up like it's been showing up? If it does, it can definitely control the pace of this game. Look what they did to Ohio State last week, only
That's the
allowing
big one.
14 points to an absolute powerhouse. So,
Yep.
does Miami have it in them to be able to hold Ole Miss down? Yes. If it turns into a shootout, it probably plays in the favor of Ole Miss. But if they play, the style of game that Miami is hoping this game to be, which is more of a controlled running game, control the clock type of, moving the chains game, then I think Miami can hang in this one. Ole Miss, by the way, has covered in 3 or 4 straight, I believe, and they've covered 9 out of 14 games this year, 9 of their last 14. Um, at the end, though, I like Miami a lot in this game. The 3.5, that three and
We're
a
going with
half
three.
sometimes.
We're going with three in this game, 3.5 in the next game.
All right, we're going with three.
Yep.
That's even
That's the
easier for
current line.
me. I probably still would have taken Miami at 3.5, but three, I'll just take Miami. I'm going to pick them to win, and I'm going to pick them to cover. And G Money does too.
I'm with you on that. Hey, by the way, I just saw a little stat. Shameless, Trinidad Shameless, only quarterback with 300 yards passing games this season, and he didn't even start. He only
Yeah.
played in like I think nine.
Yeah. Right. So if he can do that again, there's a chance that Ole Miss can either hang or maybe win this game. The question is, will Miami do to Ole Miss what they did to Ohio State? And that's a whole different story.
Right, he could still throw for 300 and lose an effort because he has to come back, right? At the end of the day, Miami's up by 4 touchdowns, something like
Could be
that, right?
garbage, right? It could be
Yeah,
garbage
garbage time
time,
stuff.
prevent defense type of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
All right, I'm with you guys. I'm going. It's a sweep. I'm going. They cover. They win the game outright. And by the way, if they win this game, Miami becomes the first team in college football history to play for the championship in their home stadium, right down there where you live, right?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh man. All right. Let's go to the next game in the Peach Bowl tomorrow night. The Peach Bowl is still played somewhere in Georgia, right? I don't think it is it played in the Georgia Dome? I don't know.
I think it's played in Atlanta. I thought it was where
I
the
know it's in
Falcons
Atlanta. I don't
playing.
know if they played
Yeah,
in the Dome or one of the like Georgia Tech fields, something like that.
I
Okay.
think they do. Mercedes-Benz Dome it is now, right?
Mercedes Bone. Yeah, okay. All right. So a lot of noise about Kurt Signetti and how impressive he's been. He went, Google me, I win everywhere. He's won at James Madison when they were a Division one double A school, right? He won at a Division three school and he won at Pop Warner. Don't give me that I win everywhere, Kurt. You haven't been everywhere, first of all. Easy, slow your roll down. Do I think he's a good coach? Yeah. Slow your roll down. You're a little bit obnoxious, a little bit arrogant. What do you think about this game?
This one's a little bit more intriguing to me.
It
I
is.
had a tough time really
We got that
figuring
fact that
out.
you and I always get scared about. The team that lost early in the season, rematch game, right?
Right. It's a rematch game. IU has covered in 9 of their last 13 games. We know in the previous meeting, these two teams met in October. The uh, Hoosiers beat the Ducks, right? 30-10 in that game.
In Oregon.
And that wasn't even 20 points of offense for Oregon because they had a pick six in that game. So it was
Correct,
just
right.
13 points of offense. And Oregon's without their running back Davison in this one
That's a
too.
big one. That
That, that
decided my vote. I hate to say
that's
it.
a big one too. But Oregon, they're undefeated against the spread if they're more than a 3.5 point dog. Um, Dante
Bingo.
Moore, he did not play well in the last game against Oregon. He was sacked 6 times, right?
Yeah.
He had 2 picks. But Oregon does have a top three defense. And the
By the
question I
way, and
think,
that's what dominated the game against Texas Tech.
Tech,
I mean,
yeah,
Dante was under pressure that entire game. He wasn't great. He was good in that game, but their
yeah.
defense is surprisingly much better than people give him credit for, right?
Yeah, 100%. And the question is, can IU have the running efficiency that they have? They've averaged 220 yards rushing a game this year. They had 215 yards rushing against Alabama last week. Um, and that's where I think their offensive line excels at the run blocking game. If OU can get their pass rush, Oregon can get their pass rush going against Indiana's offensive line pass protection, I think now you add a little bit of advantage to Oregon in that sense. So
Okay.
they're good run blockers, not such good pass defenders. That is going to allow Oregon to dominate on defense again. If they can get, I don't know if they have to rush an extra guy or not to be able to do that, but to me, that's the key. Um, they beat Texas Tech to your point. They shut them out 23-0. But hey, let's not forget what Indiana did to Alabama, 38-3.
Yeah, we
This
can't
game
overlook
is
that. We cannot overlook that one bit, right?
cannot
That
overlook
is,
that. I can tell you with the 3.5, I'm taking Oregon. I've already settled on that. The question is, do I think this is a field goal game and Indiana can end up winning it by a field goal? That's kind of where I'm at right now. Um, and I'm torn. I guess I'm gonna go with Indiana to win the
yeah,
game.
I got Oregon to cover just like you. I got
And
Indiana to win. I think the running back absence, because if I'm not mistaken, he's out hurt. The backup has already gone to the transfer portal, so they're down to their fourth string quarterback. I mean, running back at this point in time. Who's a very
yeah,
he's a very highly rated freshman that came in this year, so he could come out. This could be his moment to shine. We'll see, but I am nervous that their running back's gone. That's why I say I don't think they can win this game. I think they'll cover that game and make it close. It should be interesting. It's going to be a good game. And by the way, going back to Miami for a minute, God, I hope they make it to the championship game and win it because it'll end the Big Ten SEC mystique. I mean, they've won the last five playoffs, right? Six playoffs, I think it is.
Yeah.
So this would be great. The ACC, everybody kicked on them, spit on them, and everything this year. And here we have Miami, who certainly even got in most people's opinion, right? If they
Yeah.
win this thing, oh my God! And the U is back. I can see Michael Irvin, Reed, all those guys going crazy down there if they win that game. So
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm with you on both these things. I think
All
Oregon
right.
covers. I don't think they win the game though, unfortunately.
Yeah. I know, and G Money, so the only difference is G Money has Oregon covering, but he also has Oregon to win straight
He
up.
does. I
So
know it.
that's
Yes.
just
Yes.
an extra, that's the only difference on this thing. So we're all kind of going to stay together here on our college pick journey. But
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
All right, man. We'll see. It should be fun. Looking forward to it. Good excitement tonight.
All right. Sounds good, man. And we'll come at you on Saturday with some wild
Well,
card
foul
weekend stuff in
talk.
the
Yeah.
NFL.
By the way, bye bye, Mike McDaniel. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Well,
Bye.